we will see the lesson, the concert. Concert means a musical show. Written by Shanta Rameshwar Rao, 1930 to 2007. Was a well-known writer of children's fiction and poetry. Was a notable dancer from India. She was exponent of Bharatanatyam and also studied Kathakali and Kuchipudi. Exponent means master or a champion. Okay. One morning in a small apartment in Bombay, a girl of about 16 looked up from the newspaper and said excitedly, "Pandit Ravi Shankar is playing tomorrow at the Shanmugananda Auditorium." So she was very happy reading that news. Pandit Ravi Shankar is a maestro in sitar, in playing sitar. "Shh, shh," said her mother, pointing to the figure sleeping on the bed. Okay, someone is sleeping on the bed. So read the newspaper slowly. Who's that? "You'll wake him up. You know he needs all the sleep he can get." So read it quietly. I guess you'll wake him up. You know that he needs sleep. Okay. Now we'll see who's that. But the boy on the bed was not asleep. "Pandit Ravi Shankar?" he said. Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro. Maestro is like a great musician. Okay. A music composer. He raised himself on his elbow for 1 second, then fell back. But his eyes were shining. "We mustn't miss the chance," he said. I have always wanted to hear him and see him." "Lie down, son, lie down." His mother sprang to his side. Sprang is like going quickly. Okay, because he is not feeling well. He is actually ill. Okay, that's why she jumped or appeared in front of him. He actually raised himself up without help. She murmured with a catch in her throat, and her eyes turned to the idols on the corner shelf. The prayer which she uttered endlessly came unbidden to her lips. Okay. What is catch in throat? A short pause while speaking when you are about to cry. Okay, she was about to cry. That is what is called as catch in throat. Okay, unbidden. Spontaneous. The prayer which she uttered endlessly came unbidden to her lips. She was praying to the God to save her son. Okay, that's why the prayers came to her lips spontaneously. The boy repeated, "It's the chance of a lifetime." Then he began to cough and gasp for breath and had to be given oxygen from the cylinder that stood under the bed. But his large eyes were fixed on his sister. Smita bit her lip regretfully. She had been so excited at seeing the announcement that she had not remembered how ill her brother was. She had seen how the doctors had shaken their heads seriously and spoken words that neither she nor even her parents could understand, because all the words were medical terms that she, Smita, and her parents couldn't understand what the doctor was saying. But they know that the problem is very serious. He's not having ordinary cold or just a fever. He cannot breathe. He's just breathing with the help of oxygen cylinder. Her brother was only 15 years old and the best tennis player in the school and the fastest runner. He was also learning to play sitar. In fact, both of them were taking sitar lessons. But Anand was better than her. As in many other things, he was already able to compose his own tunes, to the astonishment of their guru. Astonishment is like to the surprise of his guru. Then cancer had struck and they had to come to Bombay so that he could be treated at the cancer hospital in the city. Everything was great. He was the best tennis player. He was the fastest runner. And he's the best sitarist. And he can even make his own tunes. But cancer struck him and they had to come to Bombay so that he could be treated at the cancer hospital in the city. Whenever they came to Bombay, they stayed with Aunt Sushila. Her apartment was not big, but there was always room for them. They had come with the hope that Anand would be cured at the hospital, and he would once again be able to walk and run and even take part in the forthcoming table tennis tournament. Okay, they had all the hope. Whenever they come to Bombay, they used to stay with Aunt Sushila. Her apartment is not that big, but they always had a room there. They always had a hope that he will come up, he will again walk, he will again run, and even take part in the forthcoming table tennis tournament. And he would start playing the sitar again, perhaps even be a greater sitarist one day. But his condition worsened with each passing day, and the doctor said, "Take him home, give him the things he likes, indulge him." And they knew then that the boy had not many days to live. The family members came to know that the boy is dying. But they did not voice their fears. They didn't show their fears. They laughed, smiled, and talked and surrounded Anand with whatever made him happy. They fulfilled his every need and they gave him whatever he asked for. And now he was asking to go to the concert. The chance of a lifetime. Only one time the chance will be coming for a lifetime. He was saying this repeatedly. And what do you mean by indulge? To allow, to enjoy the happiness of something, a pleasure of something. Okay? When you get better, his mother said, because Anand was repeatedly saying that this is a chance of lifetime. So his mother said, when you get better, this is not the last time they are going to play. Smita stood at the window looking at the traffic, her eyes wet with tears. Her mother whispered, "But you, Smita, you must go. Your father will take you." Okay, this shows that Smita is not willing to go to the concert without Anand. When she was alone with Aunt Sushila, when Smita was alone with Aunt Sushila, Smita cried out in a choked voice, crying in a blocked voice. "No, how can I? We have always done things together, Anand and I. A walk in the park might help you feel better," said Aunt Sushila. Smita was grateful for her suggestion. In the park, people were walking, running, playing ball, doing yoga exercise, feeding the ducks and eating roasted grams and peanuts. Smita felt alone in their midst. She was lost in her thoughts. She was only thinking about Anand. Okay, she was lost in his thoughts. Suddenly, a bold thought came to Smita, and as she hurried home, she said to herself, "Why not? There is no harm in trying. It would be nice to go to the concert. I don't know when we will get another opportunity to hear Pandit Ravi Shankar," she said to her mother later, and her father agreed to get the tickets. Okay, some bold thought, some bold idea came to her mind. So she said to herself, why not to try? There is no harm in trying. So what is that? The next day, as Smita and her father were leaving for the concert, her brother smiled and said, "Enjoy yourself," though the words came out in painful gasps. In a very painful way, he was saying that enjoy yourself, lucky you. Sitting beside her father in the gallery, Smita felt she was in a dream when she heard the loud welcome the audience gave the great master, Pandit Ravi Shankar. Then the first notes were played, and Smita felt as if the gates of the land of enchantment and wonder were opening. Enchantment means magic. Magic and wonder were opening. She was very excited. Spellbound, she listened to the unfolding ragas, the slow sad notes and the fast happy ones. But all the while the plan she had decided on the previous evening remained firmly in her mind. The chance of a lifetime. She heard Anand's voice in every beat of the tabla. Tabla is a musical instrument. Spellbound is like fascinated, like hold the complete attention to someone as a magic. Okay? And ragas are also called as ragams, the unfolding ragas. Okay, in every beat of tabla, she only thought about Anand, Anand's voice. What was that? The chance of a lifetime. He was repeatedly saying this, right? So she was only hearing Anand's voice in every beat of tabla. The concert came to an end and the audience gave the artist a standing ovation. A large mustachioed man gave a long boring speech. As you can see in the picture, mustachioed is like a man having a big mustache. Then came the presentation of bouquets, then more applauses, and the curtains came down. The audience began to move towards the exits. Standing ovation is like the audience standing up to clap at the end of the performance that was very good. Continuation of the previous video, the concert. Now was the time. Smita made her way through the crowd towards the stage. Then she went up the steps that led to the wings, her heart beating loudly. In the wings, a small crowd had gathered to talk about the evening concert and to help carry the bouquets, teacups, and instruments. He was there, standing with the man played the tabla for him, the great wizard of music, Ustad Allah Rakha. Ustad Allah Rakha, Indian tabla player who specialized in Indian classical music and often accompanied with Pandit Ravi Shankar. Wizard means wonderful. Okay? Wings here is like the sides of the stage out of the view of the audience. That is wings here. Her knees felt weak, her tongue dry, but she went up and standing before them, her hands folded. "Oh, sir," she burst out. She was feeling so weak and her tongue got dry. She didn't know what to do because she was standing in front of a big legend. "Yes," Pandit Ravi Shankar said kindly, and her story came pouring out, that is, speaking out. The story of a brother who lay sick at home and of how he longed to hear him and the Utsad play. "Will you come to Aunt Sushila's house and play him?" she asked at the end, breathlessly. "Please," she begged, "please come." "Little girl," said the mustached man, "Panditji is a busy man. You must not bother him with such requests." But Pandit Ravi Shankar smiled and turned to Ustad Allah Rakha and said, "What shall we do, Ustad Shahib? Tomorrow morning we perform for the boy. Yes?" he said. "Yes," Panditji replied. "It's settled then. Okay, it's done, okay?" It was very excited Smita who came home late that night. Anand lay awake, breathing in oxygen from the cylinder. Did you hear him?" he whispered. "I did," she replied, "and I spoke to him. He will come tomorrow with Utsad Shahib, and they will play for you." The following morning, Aunt Sushila's neighbors saw two men getting out of taxi, which stopped outside their block. They could not believe their eyes. It "It's not possible," they said. Okay, what did they see? Pandit Ravi Shankar and Utsad Allah Rakha went up the wooden staircase and knocked softly on the door of Aunt Sushila's apartment. They went in, sat down on the divan, the sofa, by the window and played for the boy, surrounding him with a great and beautiful happiness as life went out of him, gently, very gently. So Anant is no more. This is a true story, but all the names except Pandit Ravi Shankar's and Utsad Allah Rakha's have been changed. As you can see, children, this is the picture of Pandit Ravi Shankar on your right side and Utsad Allah Rakha on your left side. Thank you, children.